Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to Storytime. Today I'm doing Animal Man by Grant Morrison, first published from 1988 to 1990 under DC Comics' Vertigo imprint, which was their mature readers' line at the time. Grant Morrison came to write American comics as part of the British invasion, along with Alan Moore on Swamp Thing, Neil Gaiman on Sandman, Garth Ennis on Hellblazer, John Constantine's book, and Peter Milligan, who would take over Animal Man after Grant and others, and together they did a great deal to help redefine comics for a new era. Instead of focusing on one single story, I'll be attempting to encompass the main plot of the entire 26-issue run. As though most were single-issue stories concerning animals in danger, there was a larger plot of work that culminates in a reality-bending climax, the stuff the run is famous for. It's a very early example of metafiction in comics, something Morrison would become known for, metafiction being when the comic story extends off the page and into the reader's world, or does its best to achieve that effect. Animal Man Buddy Baker is a retired B-list superhero living in suburbia who decides to try for the big time, joining the Justice League, and in the process ends up learning the secrets of the universe, going beyond the bounds of reality, visiting Limbo, and meeting the creator himself, but not before saving all of that reality in a second crisis spun out from the loose threads of 1986's Crisis on Infinite Earths. I very much recommend to anyone reading this entire run, as it's great fun and very interesting uses of his animal powers, and there's just too much of that to fit into a video. I have included one quick Dolphin story just to give the sense of what the rest of the book is like, because it was too good not to put in. Let's begin. Buddy uses his animal powers in his everyday life, such as absorbing the agility of a cat while rescuing one stuck in a tree, but he doesn't wear his costume or go out on patrols anymore. He puts the idea of becoming a superhero full-time to his loving wife, Ellen. She says she's heard all this before, but Buddy is having a bit of a midlife crisis. He always felt like he was meant for more, and he's decided to go for it and try to get into the Justice League International. He hopes he can help support the family with his fame, in addition to Ellen's work as an artist. Their children, Cliff and Maxine, think it's a great idea. Ellen and Buddy go out to test his powers. Buddy absorbs the flight of a bird and the speed of an ant. Any ability you can think of an animal as having, Buddy can adapt into a power without his body needing to grow wings, for example. He's never known how it works, only that it does. Buddy's neighbor is an agent, and he gets his name to the right people for him to begin taking on superhero problems. He fights Buana beasts and stops unethical experiments going on in a research lab, which had stolen his monkey friend. Buddy gets his arm torn off at one point, and uses the regeneration of an earthworm to regrow it, learning to use his powers in new ways. This issue is the Coyote Gospel, and it's where Grant decided on the direction for the book. It's also emblematic of the story as a whole, in ways that will become clear by the time we're fully done. Death Valley, 90 degrees in the shade, and the blacktop shimmers like water. This is where it starts. So what'd you say your name was? Carrie, right? Like in the movie? I don't think you know how lucky you are I came along. Hit you in the desert. That's suicide, man. Yeah, well, the last guy kicked me out because I wouldn't, Yeah, I know. Take my advice, you're making a real big mistake here. You sound just like my mom. If I wanted this crap, I'd have stayed at home. Jeez. Okay. Just remember this conversation when you're parading down Santa Monica Boulevard, that's all. You just think I'm a loser like everyone else. Well, you don't need good grades in Hollywood, and I'm gonna be somebody. I had my tarot cards read. I've spent 3 years on the streets in LA, man, and we're talking about Dante's goddamn Inferno here, okay? I'll probably still be hooked on smack or dying in an AIDS ward if it wasn't for my man Billy there. He gave me this cross, see? Solid silver. Never taken it off since. Billy and the good Lord. Saved my life, man. The trucker and the hitchhiker speed along the desert highway. They don't see the shape in the road until it's too late, and they run over what they assume to be an animal. We went right over it. Oh, that was horrible. What was it? Was it an animal? Forget it. Don't look back. Keep your eyes on the road and don't look back. Advice for life, I guess. Pain. Ah! The pain is gigantic. A newly activated nervous system is suddenly jammed with frantic signals like an overworked switchboard. The creature shudders, weeping. Its pelvic girdle fuses long hairline sutures to cradle rapidly healing organs. A splintered rib that saws back and forth in one lung is withdrawn. The thoracic cage locks seamlessly. The lung reinflates. Trembling, the creature rises. Overhead, cheated vultures wheel into the sunset. Behold, the miracle of the resurrection. The Coyote Gospel. That was a year ago. It all started to go wrong after he saw the devil on the highway. 2 weeks later, he watched Billy go under the wheels of a truck in a pointless accident. So he's come back. It's time to kill the devil. It wasn't just Billy's death or the cancer that took his mother next. In the end, it was a paper he'd picked up 4 days ago in L.A. with the hitchhiker's obituary. Sweet Jesus, don't let me miss. Everything stops, and then his hands begin to tremble. Why won't they stop shaking? The first bullet, a semi-jacketed hollow point, shatters the devil's collarbone and smashes its shoulder blade like a china plate. Briefly, its feet pedal empty air, and then it goes down. An outcrop breaks its spine. A second impact crushes its skull, unhinges its jaw, snaps both legs, and it hits bottom blind and quadriplegic. It's still alive. He knows it's still alive. Ruptured optic nerves reconnect and the world resolves itself out of a gray fog. There are shadows on the ground getting bigger. Something in the air. All he needs is a little time to get close enough to use the second bullet. The magic bullet. The coyote has risen again and walks forward. The man tries to stop him, but the coyote triggers a bomb set with a tripwire. Buddy sees the explosion while flying overhead. How could he have forgotten? How could anyone have forgotten a bomb? He almost ran right into it himself. Stupid, stupid bastard. Ugh. It hurts to breathe, and there's a sliver of rock embedded in the muscle of his groin. He will never know that the rock contains a fossilized anemone of perfect and microscopic beauty. Oh God. Oh God, no! The devil reeks of purgatory, of the inferno. It fixes him with eyes that are glazed like pots in a kiln, and then it lurches past, growing a foot as it goes. Buddy lands, and the coyote approaches him. He makes a questioning sound and hands Buddy a scroll. It reads, "Being the Gospel according to Crafty." No one in those days could remember a time when the world was free from strife, a time when beast would not set against beast in an endless round of violence and cruelty. With bodies that renewed themselves instantly, following each wounding, no one thought to challenge the futile brutality of existence. Until Crafty. And so it was that on a day like every other since the first day, Crafty wept at last and said, "No more." He took himself into the desert, and rose up, and went into the presence of God. And God spoke unto Crafty, saying, "You must be punished for this rebellion against my will. Nevertheless, I am a good God, and my judgment will be tempered with mercy." Much afraid, Crafty spoke, saying, "I will bear any punishment that will bring peace to the world." "Then you must spend eternity in the hell above," said God. "While you live and bear the suffering of the world, I will make peace among the beasts. That is my judgment." And so God sent Crafty forth from heaven and earth, into the dark hell of the second reality. And Crafty was given new flesh and new blood, and taught new pain. Yet with each terrible death and resurrection, Crafty knew that by his torment the world was redeemed. It seemed that there was nothing that could truly kill him, and while he lived, there still remained the hope that one day he might return, and on that day overthrow the tyrant God, and build a better world. I'm sorry. I can't read it. Oh. He couldn't stop thinking about the cross, about the way it had melted in the crucible, the way the inscription had dissolved into meaningless hieroglyphs to make him lost in a shining puddle. All my love, Billy. In the end, all it took was a steady hand. Satan! And the magic bullet. The silver bullet. Choom! Strange. No pain. Oh, Billy, I did it. I saved the world. The prologue shows a word processor and a cat in a normal apartment. The words on the screen read, "I cannot believe that God plays dice with the cosmos." Albert Einstein. Buddy has become more active as Animal Man, fighting for causes he believes in, protecting animals from humans. However, this has made him run afoul of the law and government from time to time. Certain forces send a messenger to tell him to behave himself. The Flash, Bill, and Mirror Master. He runs circles around Buddy with his mirror dimension, but he leaves everyone unharmed. This was only a warning. The first epilogue shows Mirror Master reporting success to the agency that hired him and demanding to be paid. The second epilogue introduces a new character, the Native American physicist Dr. Joseph Highwater. He'll be in the background for a while, but he will become very important. He is having an existential crisis, and he already questions his reality, wondering why he feels like he was just thrust into existence at that moment with a full set of memories and a purpose already prepared for him. Could Einstein have been wrong? The third epilogue shows the same apartment and word processor, but new words appear after the quote. I cannot believe that God plays dice with the cosmos. He doesn't. I do. Due to the Mirror Master's attack and Buddy's acceptance into the Justice League, new security measures are being installed in his house. Buddy tells the Martian Manhunter that his powers aren't working right, though, and they fly off so he can demonstrate. This is fallout from the Invasion event, when all the heroes had their powers scrambled. Dr. Joseph Highwater stands in his apartment feeling like it's the first time he's seen it, though it is filled with evidence of his life and past. One book lies on the floor, Alice in Wonderland. Inside it, a single piece of paper reading Ask the Psycho Pirate. A stranger dressed in black watches Cliff play in the street. Buddy shows Jean that he can't select one animal from the chaos of all of them, saying that the tribe felt like he was dying, like he was in a cage with every animal in the world outside of it making noise. Buddy says he doesn't even know how his powers work, why he can breathe underwater without gills, or fly without wings. Only recently he's become worried about things like that. The reveille, when it sounded, was both unforeseen and loud. It began as a deep seismic pulse in the core heart of the traveler, a pulse which surely must have caused some disturbance in the world above. I must confess I had fully expected to sleep until the arrival of the ionic unit, but that, it seemed, was not to be. I gathered the naked members of my being, and reincorporated in the first available memory form. All the while the pulse continued, arrhythmic, unmusical. Something was clearly wrong. Buddy is making some progress with his powers as he tries to absorb abilities from a dog, but he gets the jumping ability of its fleas instead. Two yellow aliens are watching Buddy and discussing two problems. One, the traveler has been discovered by humans, and two, their animal man has been altered almost beyond recognition while they have slept. This animal man is younger than the one they created, and they detect the results of the crisis on Infinite Earths on the universe, seen as a catastrophic assault on the space-time continuum, as well as the results of invasion, Buddy having been cut loose from Earth's morphogenetic field. They decide to review the creation of Animal Man as they remember it, to assess the damage. There I was in the wilderness, attacking a 10-ton elephant that had gone berserk. A foolhardy action for any man. Any normal man. But you see, I was more than that. I had suddenly found myself gifted with incredible abilities that no mortal man had ever known, for I was the man with animal powers. Whoomp! Wow, what a combination. A tiger spring and a gorilla sock to clobber this berserk elephant. I like to think of myself as a guy with a tiger in his tank, but when it came to proposing, well, I guess you could say I was a mouse of a man. Ellen, I want to, there's something what I mean to say is... Oh, Buddy. Yes? It's nothing. Forget it. It's not important. I guess I'd better be getting along now. Did it again. I lost my nerve. Some tiger. I could hear myself squeaking all the way home. I took the inevitable needling the next day when we went out hunting. Ha! Chicken out again, huh? You're one heck of a Romeo, buddy boy. Yeah, okay. You've had your laugh, Roger. Now why don't we split up and hunt tracks? I'll take the ridge trail. Long as you think you can handle the wildlife, hero. There are some real mean bunnies up there. Roger could laugh all he liked. We'd soon see who'd be eating rabbit pie tonight. I started up the ridge toward my kill, and that's when it happened. There was a noise like an orchestra tuning up. It's getting louder. My eyes can't see, kaboom! Oh, I don't know how long I was out or what happened to me, but when I woke up, I was flat on my back. Then suddenly I heard a sound. And I found myself gaping in a 4-footed nightmare. A tiger? In this country? Springing at me. I'm a goner. In a blind panic, I instinctively leapt to one side, and then it happened. Huh? I'm springing off the ground like a tiger. This is crazy. Nothing's making any sense. Yeah! Now a gorilla wants to play tag with me. I was caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Then the tiger sprang out, and I reached out to protect myself. As my hand snared the beast's paws, I felt a tremendous strength surge through my entire body, and... Where did I get such power? I tossed that tiger with the strength of a gorilla. Net those animals while they're still dazed. Buddy, hey, Buddy. I sure am glad to see you still breathing, pal. There was a train wreck back there. Some circus animals escaped. I thought I was going crazy for a while. But what about these animal powers? There was an explosion. I was up there on the ridge, and there was a light. Yeah, I saw a glow earlier. We'd better take a look. Hey, there is something down there, buddy. Why, it's an alien space capsule. That's what caused the explosion. Of course, and the radiation glow must have affected me in some way, giving the characteristics of any animals in my general vicinity. There's something touching about the blind faith with which they greet the impossible. It's always been the same on this stratum. Radiation, chemical accidents, magic rings, the physical laws under which these people operate are all but incomprehensible. Nevertheless, something is seriously wrong here. The Buddy Baker we've just observed is surely an older man, living in a barely defined world. Additionally, his attitudes and motivations seem so much less sophisticated than those of the current Buddy Baker. What exactly has happened on this stratum to change everyone quite so radically? I was a hero, all right. A brave man. That's what the papers said. So why couldn't I shake those butterflies in the pit of my stomach when I approached Ellen's home that morning? This is it, buddy. You're a hero. You're a hero. A brave man. A hero. Ellen, I'm asking you to marry me, be my wife. Oh, buddy, I will. I will. I feel kind of weird. Oh, my brave hero. He's fainted. Still, I'm glad he finally managed to pop the question. This section of the narrative might amuse you. The second adventure of The Man with Animal Powers. Saving the world from alien invasion, preserving the status quo from the forces of chaos, is an almost universal scenario in this stratum. No attempt made to question the motives or the origins of the aliens. Things were simpler then. Our job was so much easier. He vowed to use his great powers in the service of mankind, dressed himself in a bright costume, and called himself Animal Man, just as we intended. I've seen enough. You were right to wake me. We must take rapid action. Activate all our agents. Major surgery is called for here. Ha! I wonder if he'll remember us. 10 years ago. And to think I never would have had such powers if I hadn't stumbled upon that space capsule that exploded in my face. Kaboom! It was the radiation that did it. Affected my entire body whenever I got close to any animal, and it also affected the creature from the capsule. Wow, what a monster. We never did learn what that thing was sent here for, or why, but he sure gave me problems. Woo! Tossing me around like a baby, and I've got animal powers. That's all in the past now, dear. And after you lost your animal powers, you were clever enough to outwit that beast and destroy him. Yeah, but it was sure a close call. I'm glad it's over. Buddy, another one of those crazy capsules, almost like the one that exploded, only much larger. I found it partially concealed in the woods. What, Roger? You heard me right, pal. I was hunting just south of Deep Hollow, and there it was, big as life. It's there, all right. Something like the one that exploded in front of Buddy. I wonder if another little creature's inside. Dr. Joseph Highwater has made it to Arkham Asylum to see the Psycho Pirate. In the halls, he is accosted by the Mad Hatter, who insists they're just characters written on a page as he is dragged away raving. The warden tells Joseph to ignore him. He's mad as a hatter. Roger Hayden, the Psycho Pirate, was collaborating with the Anti-Monitor and was outside of the multiverse when it was reset. Thus, he alone retains knowledge of the multiverse's existence. It has driven him insane, but granted him some knowledge of the world that created him. He raves about being removed from the continuity, and asks if Marv Wolfman, the writer of Crisis, gave them his name. He gives Joseph a message he says was left for him. What is it? On those burnt-out October evenings, my dad and I would walk back home from visiting my grandmother. We'd always stop on top of a hill in Cardinland, where I used to watch lights flickering out on the horizon. I realize now the lights are probably only cars moving on the faraway hills, but back then, I was sure they were signals. I became convinced that an intelligent fox, I called him Foxy, was trying to contact me. Indulging my childhood fantasy, my parents bought me a flashlight so I could reply to him. This went on for quite a while. I don't remember now when I stopped flashing my garbled semaphore, but I did eventually. Sometimes I wonder if Foxy kept on signaling long after I'd grown too old, too self-conscious to acknowledge him. Years later I found out what my surname means in Gaelic. Son of the Fox. What is this stuff? The other side too? The other side of the page is the Origin of Animal Man comic. Joseph knows he must find Animal Man to continue his search for answers. Vixen also has animal powers given to her by her Tantu totem. She has sought out Buddy for help, claiming that she is being chased by invisible monsters. When they show up, she uses a smoke bomb to reveal their forms. The monsters gaze at Buddy. Its gaze is unraveling me. Why? Why does it feel so familiar? We take charge now. The situation is under control. The continuum is safe. I've lost my shape twice already. Nerves. The surgery is easy enough. I've done it before on the same man. He's safe in the template. He doesn't have to know that the entire universe hangs in the balance. There. It is done. Animal Man is remade. The situation is under control. Under control. 10 years ago. And to think I never would have exploded in the past now, dear. I'm glad it's something sure in the woods. Kaboom! It was the crazy capsules that did it, partially concealed in my face, close to the hollow animal powers. Wow, affected my entire monster space. He sure gave me clever radiation. Ooh! That's all big as life. Those creatures inside were much larger. You lost your deep hunting beast, Buddy. What? Buddy, close to Annie Woods, out with animal problems, exploded baby space. Is something... You heard my hollow capsule face. My entire south stumbled, partially lost. Call something inside a monster. Never inside affected baby radiation. I wonder... The stress on the continuum is almost too much. Irrational fallout has begun to appear. I've reset Animal Man's morphogenetic graphs. He's about to be reassembled from the template. Animal Man is the least of our problems. I've been able to replace him quite easily while he's been in the template. It's the others. Their existence is at risk here. Any mistake, any intrusion that pushes the logic of the continuum too far, and we could unbind this entire stratum. Zoo. I'm in the zoo. The biggest ever, and all the sense of all the animals. No, it's an encyclopedia, and those voices. I've been here before. My body is... Where is my body? Shapes without substance. Presences too beautiful for words. Pulling together, condensing out of light into... I don't want to go. Buddy Baker, Animal Man, is reinserted into the space-time continuum with a flash of light, meeting Vixen in Africa. Together they attempt to overthrow an immortal tyrant, but are captured and placed in a cell deep in the earth, far from many animals. Ellen Baker is at home when her neighbor asks about her children getting home from school. Ellen says that after Buddy's accident they could never have kids. Realizing this, she fades from existence. The aliens put back the wrong version of Ellen for the current continuity, and like a cartoon coyote defying gravity while walking off a cliff, she only existed as long as she didn't realize it. The immortal tyrant has placed Buddy far from any animals he could absorb powers from and taken Vixen's Tantu totem. At dawn they must face his enforcer, who will kill them. He has uncovered the alien ship, the Traveler, and the aliens detect him using a particle beam weapon on it. It affects their surgery on reality, and another universe is accidentally destroyed. We don't know which one. Buddy absorbs the powers of bacteria in his body and replicates himself into an army to escape the death trap. Outside, the Traveler is spewing blank white space from a hole in the ground. Buddy dives in while the Immortal escapes, finding himself inside the alien ship in the dark. He absorbs the sonic location from a bat and makes his way through the ship, finding his previous incarnation on display. The aliens greet him. Vixen follows him inside, telling Buddy not to trust the aliens. They were the invisible monsters from earlier. They apologize for using memory forms to frighten them. They warned of an impending crisis for the universe, but the Immortal and his agent have also followed them inside. Vixen, having regained her powers, goes to fight her. Is Vixen going to be okay back there? The great light you see is a manifestation of the vast absence that lies behind what you call reality. From that light unfolds a continuous process of creation and destruction. Your companion will find that she cannot be destroyed. Unless, of course, we fail in our task. We've met before, haven't we? When I just started out as Animal Man. Weren't you trying to invade Earth or something? A standard deception. This ship, the Traveler, has been buried here 10,000 years. Periodically, we assume memory forms and travel to the surface. In the form of Ananse, the spider god, we brought the Tantu totem to mankind. 2,000 years later, it was the helmet and the elixir of the beast. Then the spirit masks. All these gifts put your people in touch with the template. Finally, we attended your creation. Do you remember that day? Yeah, but you did not survive that explosion. We placed your spirit in the template and grafted onto your essence the essences of the beast avatars already there. Then we rebuilt your body, cell by cell. You what? Your animal powers derived from these morphogenetic grafts. The grafts were damaged by recent events, and we have been forced to destroy and rebuild you once again. This is too weird. I don't understand what you're telling me. You will understand soon. Terrible times are coming, but everything will become clear. Now, you recall the catastrophic event, the crisis that recently took place on this stratum. This crisis, we discovered, has resulted in the current threat to your reality. The continuum was radically altered at that time, but some holes remained, unseen, pockets of contradiction. Your life was one such contradiction. The animal man we created was an older man in a simpler world. He should not have existed in the post-crisis continuum, and yet somehow your history remained unaltered. You were living in a paradox. Now that paradox threatens to destroy the structure of your reality. Put your hands in here. You were repaired first, do you understand? We rebuilt your memories while your essence was in the template. That means those memories can be used to heal the continuum. Direct your thoughts into the breach. The forces that are being released now will be felt across the entire stratum, but it's still not too late to prevent the final catastrophic unbinding. It's finished, okay? This is insane. It can't go on. If you fail, everything is lost. Your family, your friends, the world you knew. Remember, it's finished. Remember how it was when you first became Animal Man. Bind reality's fabric with those memories. Head hurts. Confused. Remember. No more. No more. 10 years ago. I guess I must have got the powers when that spaceship or whatever it was blew up in my face. Kaboom! I don't know, maybe it was a radiation or something. And then there was that thing. I mean, what the hell was that? It's like this stuff all just happened, and I'll never know why, you know? But this is like too weird. I mean, animal powers? Yeah, but listen, Ellen, I got this great idea that... Buddy! Ellen, don't you have a report to write? Hey, come on, Baker, I just found another of those weird spaceships, man. What? No kidding, dude, it's out back in the woods. Like, it totally freaked me out. Animal Man. Animal Man. Animal Man has succeeded in restoring the universe based on his memories. The immortal fires a gun into an alien's head, but it says that they are agents of the power that created their world, and cannot be harmed within it. They unmake the immortal, reducing him to a sketch of a character, then erasing him completely. They will relocate the traveler, and they wish Animal Man well, and again warn of the great crisis coming. Buddy and Vixen are returned to Africa. All the bad guys lay defeated around them, and reality is whole once again. Maxine Baker is playing with a kitten in her backyard when she sees a strange man dressed in black who knows her. Hello, Maxine. I had a dream the other night, Maxine. I dreamed you grew up and everything was okay. You can't even hear me, can you? I can't even warn you. Oh, Maxine. Maxine. I miss you. I miss you all so much. Maxine! Maxine! Maxine? Who was that man you were talking to? I told you never, ever speak to strange men. It wasn't a strange man. It was Daddy. Why was he crying, Mommy? Rain in the canal. Interference patterns of concentric circles like bomb impact diagrams. Like telepathic powers in comics. Like the cup and ring marks on megalithic stones. Like patterns on a holographic plate. The symbol of David Bohm's implicate order theory. A vision of a vast interconnected universe where every part contains the whole, where the universe is a mirror reflecting itself. Everything is everything. Ducks squabble in the reeds. Rain blows along the towpath. I need an idea. The wind doth blow today, my love, and a few small drops of rain. I never had but one true love. In cold graves she was lain. Everything is everything. The unquiet grave. I used to love that one when I was at school. Christ, easy pleased. Gasworks against a restless sky, the bones of machine-age dinosaurs. Hideous metaphor. What'll it be next? Choice extracts from the Oxford Dictionary of Quotations, trotting out the Nietzsche and the Shelley and the Shakespeare to dignify some old costume claptrap. Probably. Sometimes you wonder, in an interconnected universe, who's dreaming who? High water. Wake up. Wake up. Dr. Joseph Highwater wakes from a strange dream, remembering only snippets. He does not recognize the room he's in, but he's on the west coast of America where Animal Man operates. Ellen is drawing when her water cup moves by itself, and then again to across the room. The phone startles her. Cliff and his friends are playing with a Ouija board, and it spells the message Cliff 927, and then the blender explodes. The glass cuts one of the boys, and blood drips on the message. Dr. Highwater leaves his hotel room to try and find Animal Man. On the way out, he remembers a line from his dream. The universe is a mirror, and he decided not to touch his mirror lest he fall through. Perhaps he already has. Buddy is checking the house for the source of the strange goings-on, and the strange man in black appears outside the window. Buddy chases him and recognizes him from when he was 10 years old before the man vanishes, having said nothing. This is not part of the meta-story, rather I've included it to show what the rest of the book is like, mostly single-issue stories of Buddy helping animals and the world seen from their point of view. Lost. Separated. Moving through symphonic space, 1,000 voices, ancestral transmissions broadcasting echo rings of ancient intelligence. I break through the skin of the world into a sudden empty discordance. My mate, my miraculous child, where are you both? I am afraid. And now the world grows colder, close to the polar regions. The magnetic landscape unfolds a topography imprint recalled in brain contours. More speed. More speed. My mate, my child, soon I will be with you. Oh, take care. Take care. Please stay away from the dreadful ones, the monsters who haunt the skin of the world. Stay away from human. They kill and they kill and they kill, filling the world with dirt and sickness. Poor creatures, the human, left behind by evolution, beached by time in clumsy bodies. One day, the old stories say, one day the world will exist and the human will shed the limbs that build and harm. One day they will be as we are. One day. Please. Panic, harmonies, a storm of noise and grief, confusion, frenzy, nudity. Oh, no. 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 Animal Man, the woman known as Dolphin seen in the Aquaman comics, and a group of eco-warriors have stopped the traditional ritual slaughter of the dolphins with superpowers and a machine gun. Unger, the leader of the killers, murders a baby dolphin out of spite, and Buddy picks him up and flies high above the water with him, and lacking one good reason not to, drops him into the water. And the rest of the dolphins are safe. I guess that's all we can hope for till next season. In the meantime, there's going to be hell to pay for what we've done here. Sinking a fishing boat, terrorizing foreign nationals? Good God. Ah, hell, who cares? I'd do it all over again next year if I can stay out of jail. Too bad we can't all disappear as easily as she can, eh? Yeah, too bad. Buddy, I don't know if I should ask about Unger, but I lost my temper. I gave him to the fishes. Down, down, down. I watch him, thrashing, desperately attempting to climb to the skin of the world. Blood stains his body, his clumsy, awkward body. Thrashing, stains his frail body. Cradle of delicate bones stains his electric, spit and flash terror. The world is crushing him, putting out the light of his body. He took everything, stained with my family, everything. Thrashing. He will never make it back alone. He will die here. Here in the world, stained with our blood. He will die. One day only the world will exist, no more agony, no more fear, and all the vast enfolding of time in the world. One day. Until then, the killing will continue, the blood-spilling slaughter of innocents. Until then, there will be aggression and pain and sadness. That is the way. That is the way of the sad human. Our way is different. This issue features Animal Man fighting the time-based villain Kronos, but it will only be seeing 2 pages of the Joseph Highwater subplot. Dr. Joseph Highwater feels a clarity of purpose as he drives to Buddy Baker's house, even when his hand becomes an uncolored sketch as he drives. In Buddy's living room, the lower half of his body has become an artist's sketch of a character, and he pleads for help. We open with Buddy seeming to be in shock from something tragic. He fades out of consciousness and sees a glowing white shape. Is it a door? No, the cursor on a monitor. Words appear. At play in the fields of the Lord. We flash back to earlier. Dr. Highwater has returned to normal and he explains the odd series of events that caused him to seek out Animal Man. Buddy says he saw something similar in Africa, Buddy has had too much trouble from the government, the law, and public opinion over his actions, and he's quit being Animal Man, but he agrees to help the doctor. His paper has now become a map to a Native American reservation. A mesa has been indicated. Buddy and Joseph travel to the mesa and find there some peyote buttons. They take them in order to have a revelatory experience, hoping for answers to their existential crises. Neither is sure of themselves or their place in the world. God, I can't believe how bad this stuff tastes. Remember, don't spit out the peyote. Just rinse your mouth. My whole mouth's numb. It's like it's anesthetized. Look, did you see that? It's full of light. The water's full of jewels. When does it start to happen? Do you think we'll know when it starts? Oh yes, I think we'll know. And the sky opens, and the stars chime the bells of the planets torn from their courses, and the sky opens like a flower unpetaling endlessly, shining, chiming, the ringing vibrations of the subtle planes, the roar of the white air and white noise and beautiful screaming feedback, and the sky opens. Look! Look at it! It's the planets, whirling around the sun. No, it's molecular motion. We're in the quantum world, in the heart of matter, at play in the fields of the Lord. What's that noise? Can you hear a drum? It must be huge, beating across light years. Can you hear it? I hear wings, under the earth, gigantic, the wings of Quahu. Oh God, buried under the earth, beating wings. The drumbeat is the sound of the galaxy talking, digital voices slowed down 1,000,000 times. Animal Man? Buddy? I have a message for you, from the world above. What? Who are you? Oh, I'm the ghost animal, the messenger, the totem. Call me Foxy, if you like. My totem animal is the eagle. Grandfather told me, and I wouldn't believe him. Oh, Grandfather. What's my totem? Why did everyone have a totem but me? Because you're special. You're the Animal Man. Shall I show you? Look. Again. Again. I'm here again. This is where the aliens put me, the template. They called it the template. They grafted me into the template. And these are all my totems. I don't think I can stand stress. All these presences, these animal essences. I'm connected, streaming out. I'm part of them. Animal Man. I understand it now. It's the morphogenetic field. You've been hooked up to the morphogenetic field. This is where your animal powers come from the field itself. The field is a mesh of countless smaller fields, each one a blueprint which guides the formation of atoms into molecules, molecules into cells, cells into tissues, organs, systems. Every species is represented by its own field, its own ideal form. It's like Plato's archetypical reality, only more subtle. This is where the idea of totem spirits derives from, and you're connected to the essence of every creature that has ever existed. You don't need to be near an animal to absorb its power. The power comes from here, from the life field itself. Yes, that's it. But there's more. It means something more. Ah, now you're beginning to see. Where are we? Where's the sky? This is a prophecy rock. The nations understood it all from the start. See, the painting tells the story of what was and what is yet to be. Look, some kind of catastrophe, the ending of time and space, the death of history, and the birth of something new. The crisis. This is the crisis. What does it mean? That alien said that I was to beware. Terrible times are coming. That's what they said. Look again. My God. A second crisis. A second crisis is coming. Long ago, Masua told us, remember the Bahana, the white brother. He will be sent so the people who held fast to the Hopi way can be spared from destruction. What? Live simply, live humbly, and in a balanced way, for the sake of all that live. Man, animal, plant, rock, and the sacred water. But man has dropped from the sky the gourd full of ashes. It boils the sea, burns the land. Truly, it is the mystery egg. It could trigger a rebirth or annihilate us all, depending on which way we go. Purification will come either way. Like the pure gold of a new day, we will then know Purification Day has come. Purification Day has come. Oh no. Dear God, no. Wings. It's opening the earth like an egg. Why can't I understand? Galaxies and electrons, dreams and mirrors. I can't think for the sound of wings. And the sun. Where is the... Oh God. Oh dear God. Look. It's as big as the world. It's raining. It's raining blood. It's raining eagle's blood. This is my body. This is my blood. Unbury me. Brother Eagle, who am I? What am I? Brother Eagle? Animal Man? Animal Man, I saw Quahu, the eagle. My grandfather told me once that Quahu was the messenger between man and the forces of creation. Was that the revelation? Do you think it's over? I don't know. I don't know. How long does it last? How long does this stuff usually last? Over? Over. You're joking, aren't you? That was just the overture. You wanted the truth, didn't you? The truth behind everything? The answer? Did you really think it would come that easy? Over? It's not over. Look. Good Lord. A government hitman from the agency that hired Mirror Master has come to pay a visit to Ellen Baker and her family. A story so far. Animal Man and the physicist James Highwater are in Arizona. They have eaten peyote cactus buttons and plunged into a hallucinatory ritual ordeal. Okay? What now? What happens now? Yes, of course. The secret of the universe. A new science of life. We shouldn't have taken the peyote. It's never going to stop. I don't think I can stand any more of this. It's red. Why is it red? Why is everything blood? An ocean of blood. And that's not all. A wall of darkness as big as the world. And the wall divides and looks at me. Don't worry. It's only a hallucination. Everything you have ever known, everything that is, was, and shall be, it's only a hallucination. And here is the first secret. Everything is connected. Watch. Who's who in the DC universe? Animal Man, aka Buddy Baker, received his powers when he was 19 years old. While out hunting with a friend, Roger Denning, Buddy stumbled upon a partially buried alien spacecraft. The spacecraft exploded and Buddy was incinerated in the blast. This apparent incident was, in reality, engineered by two alien beings whose motives remain uncertain. These aliens, agents of some unspecified higher power, rebuilt Baker's body from scratch. In addition to this reconstruction work, morphogenetic grafts linking Buddy's spirit to the life field of planet Earth. Like a tribal shaman assuming the characteristics of an animal totem, Buddy found that he was able to interface with this field. Drawing directly on fundamental evolutionary energies, he learned to adapt specific animal abilities into useful metahuman skills. At Roger's suggestion, Buddy donned a costume to fight crime as Animal Man. Animal Man was inactive for a number of years before recently resuming his superhero career. He now divides his time between membership in Justice League Europe and the animal rights movement, to which he is passionately committed. Buddy is married to his childhood sweetheart Ellen Fraser and has two children, Cliff, 9, and Maxine, 5. He still remains unaware as to the full extent of his animal abilities. No more. No more ignorance. The truth now. The second secret. Oomph. That's not it. That's not the way it happened at all. I was almost 30 when I got my powers. A spaceship blew up in my face and weird radiation gave me animal powers. I fought crime. Aliens. Simple. I was married. No kids. The radiation sterilized me. And then they changed everything. They wiped out my life and replaced it with yours. What? Look, who are you? What are you trying to say? I'm Animal Man. What happens when the continuity changes? What happens to all those lives? Who's responsible? They twist us and torture us. They kill us in our billions. For what? For entertainment. They? Who's they? Our lives are not our own. It's not fair. Wasn't I good enough? You've taken my place. I'm not real anymore. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid. Wait, who are they? Who are they? Do you want to know? Do you really want to know the truth? Then turn around. Turn around now. You'll see the third secret. Oh God. Oh my God. I can see you! I can see you. I can see. Animal Man, can't you see them? Animal Man, you'll fall. They were there. They're watching us. Everywhere we go. Everything we do. They're watching us. There's nothing. Animal Man, for God's sake. Buddy. I saw them. There's nothing. We are lost. Rudderless. And the ship drifts on through the endless dark. Do you believe in God? It depends what you mean by God. Did the universe arise by chance, or was it created? That's what I mean. Did someone create us? Are they still creating us now? I saw into another world, and it was worse than this one. It was like I glimpsed heaven, and it wasn't paradise. It was more like hell. What if God, or whoever it is, created us to be better than himself? What if God's reality, heaven if you like, what if it's so bad that he had to imagine us to help make his life bearable? What if we're just characters and not people? I saw them. They're watching us. Entertainment, he said. Water. High water. I don't want to. No, listen. Listen. A few months ago, or maybe it was a year or more, my wife was attacked in the woods. There were 4 guys. What happened to them? One of them killed another one. Why was there no trial? Why couldn't I understand what the aliens are trying to tell me in Africa? Why can't Ellen remember what happened when I disappeared that time? Why is my life so disconnected? One minute I'm at home, the next I'm in the Faroe Islands or in Paris, and I think I remember how I got there, but I don't really know. What's the second crisis that's supposed to be coming? Who left the peyote buttons for us to find? Where did you come from? Me? I'm James Highwater. I'm 43. I'm a doctor of physics. It's all there. Credit cards, passport, birth certificate. All of this is as strange to me as it is to you. Are you familiar with David Bohm's theory of the implicate order? It's difficult to express in simple terms, but basically Bohm is saying that reality is unfolded out of a higher state, the implicate order. The implicate order is a vast sea of potential. When you talked about heaven, I think you really meant the implicate. Our culture has lost sight of this higher reality. So-called primitive peoples knew better. The Aborigines called it the dream time. The Yaqui Indians knew it as the Nagual. It's the primal reality, if you like. All our dreams of ideal worlds are just attempts to describe that infinite possibility. And everything in the universe is connected, you see, from atoms to galaxies. We're all responsible. Every decision we make affects the future of the whole universe. The Hopi understood it in... Is that island moving? Yeah, it's moving. It's definitely moving. But I don't think it's an island. God. Dear God. It's okay, this isn't happening. Whales can't open their mouths that way. You wanted knowledge, didn't you? You wanted the truth? But the truth always costs. I'm so sorry. Ellen! Animal Man? Animal Man! Animal Man, for God's sake, where are you? Don't leave me. Is that your hand? Where is it coming from? I don't understand. I'm here. I'm outside. Highwater? Is that you in there? Yes, look. The mesa is surrounded by beautiful lights, magnetic lines of force. It's like the face of an owl, like a mask of lights. Well, are you ready? Are you ready to make the leap? I'm thinking. I just need some time, that's all. You must make the leap, the quantum leap to a new state. A new theory of time and space, world transforming. It lies within your grasp if you only make that leap of insight, of faith. Do it. You can do it. You can do it. Yes. 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 Yeah. Ah. That'll teach you not to listen to talking eagles. It's really over. God, I'm talking in cliches. That proves we're not characters in the story. No one would write such terrible dialogue. I feel like I've been washed. Like every atom has been washed. I sound like a hippie. No, I know what you mean. It's like being born and everything's new. I know what you mean. We both gained something, didn't we? I saw the first steps on a path to a new theory of unification. And you, if you're linked to the morphogenetic field, you don't have to be near an animal to absorb its abilities. You need only think of the animal, and you're connected directly to the field. Any animal from any period. And the other stuff? Reality? God? Did we really see God? How much of it was just hallucination? I don't know. Does it matter? What did Poe say? I guess you're going to tell me. Yes, all that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. And all the way home the world sparkles, the flash of chrome on highways far below, trees fizzing with unreleased sap. The sun is warm, the air is fresh like a cold shower, and all the birds are singing in tune. So why do I feel so strange? Why is the hair prickling on the back of my neck? Terrible times, the second crisis. What's wrong? Hi, TC, what's up? They lock you out? I'm gonna have to fix up a cat door for you. Ellen? Ellen? Walk to the kitchen. Walk to the kitchen. 1, 2. I can smell it. I can smell it. No. Oh, God, no. Please. No. Buddy wakes from a dream to find Ellen alive and well. He's relieved, but soon loses consciousness again. Buddy wakes to his terrible new reality. Ellen, Cliff, and Maxine have all been murdered. The neighbors give him some water. Buddy is in shock, reliving moments of love from his memories and drowning in grief. Mr. Lennox, the assassin, is congratulated by his masters at the agency. They show him an advanced warsuit loaded with weaponry in case Animal Man decides he wants retribution. At Arkham Asylum, the Psycho Pirate is going crazier than usual, saying they're all coming back. The dead will rise and outnumber the living. Buddy is inconsolable at the loss of his family. Everything was finally working out. This wasn't supposed to happen. He pleads for them to come back. At the funeral, he is stoic. Back home, Buddy has decided to end it all. He can't live with the grief and the loss. He can't move past it. He smashes his reflection in the mirror. And then the phone rings. He answers it, and it's the Mirror Master. He offers Buddy the names of the men responsible for his grief. I keep thinking about Travis Bickle and Taxi Driver. I suppose it's better that than anything else. I keep thinking about Travis Bickle, and when I do, laughter bubbles into the back of my throat. I stop it. I wish I could stop thinking. I can't afford to think, only to react. Like an animal. I must let myself go. Become an animal. I put on leather, old stuff from when I was a punk, dress in the dead skin of animals, calling on the animal powers. I stop thinking, and I go downstairs. Tooth and claw. McCullough? I'm ready. Buddy drags one of the agency men off his fishing boat and holds him underwater until he drowns. Another he finds on the golf course. He drags him under the earth and leaves him buried alive, buried like his family. The third they find at his office, and Mirror Master finally gets the payment he demanded, the reason he gave Buddy the names. Lennox arrives in the Bugman armor, and Mirror Master stuns him, freezing him in place. Buddy punches the elevator the third man is escaping in out of the building. Buddy faces Lennox at last. He torches Buddy's jacket with a flamethrower. Buddy leaps over the napalm cannon like a gazelle. Still, he is caught and thrown down, dislocating something. Buddy absorbs the time perception of a fly, and the world goes into slow motion. His reaction time is multiplied by 10, and he easily breaks the incoming arm at the elbow, and he's gone before the acid is dripping hits the floor. He goes back into the morphogenetic field and selects the electric eel and the electric ray. His body is charged with electricity. He lets it build and then touches the floor. Lennox is electrocuted. In the ruined suit, Lennox says it's not fair to fight regular people with superpowers. Buddy puts on a clawed glove and kills Lennox like an animal. Though he's gotten his revenge, Buddy still can't go on. He feels nothing. but he's had an idea. All he needs is a time machine, and he can fix everything. Buddy goes to Rip Hunter and claims that the Time Commander and the Lord of Time have formed an alliance against the Justice League, and he needs to borrow a time machine to get to the big fight. Rip Hunter thinks for a moment, taking Buddy in, then agrees to let him borrow a backpack unit that may have been damaged. The Psycho Pirate seems to know that we're watching him at this very moment, and then his head bursts with colors. The colors pool on the floor and resolve into comic books, one showing the historic first meeting of two Flashes, the official beginning of the multiverse. Why am I so scared? It's only time travel. It's only time travel, TC. I guess it'll be like taking acid or something. I wonder if it hurts. I don't care if it hurts. I hurt anyway. I just don't know. Okay, here goes. Too late to change my mind now. Nothing happens. There's a ringing noise in the corner of the kitchen, but nothing. Ah. And suddenly I'm poured and siphoned at the same time, like the first worst moment of a white-knuckle ride, that slam of gravity, and the roof collapses like a paper box origami in reverse, and I'm shaken out like dust from a blanket, and my body doesn't make sense, and I can't breathe, and I'm gone. I'm not alone. There are other presences in the time stream, something that feels like a forest closes in around me, then vanishes. Something else strobes through me, a pinball whirring like a hummingbird. Nausea rises up, but my body's miles away, or will be, or was. I don't think it's ever going to stop. It's never going to stop. That ringing in my ears, that noise, that terrible noise of everything that ever... Lawnmowers, sound of lawnmowers, the smell of cut grass, senses coming back one by one. Is this a memory? Or am I... Wait, it's okay. Buddy reappears in the past after the Mirror Master's attack. He tries to warn himself, but realizes he's an insubstantial phantom, unable to be seen or heard. It takes a minute before I realize that I'm not wearing the machine. I can still feel it on my back, but I'm not wearing it. The machine is still in the future. It's still in the future, but I can feel its weight, like a burden I can't remove. And all I am is a transmission. A flickering image on a broken TV, coming and going like long-distance radio. A ghost from the world to come. It takes me days to get over the shock of seeing them alive again. Days to work on improving my physical coherence. Sometimes, if I concentrate hard enough, I could almost make myself visible. My thoughts have become strange, abstract almost. Sometimes I think I'm at home in the future dreaming all this or simply remembering it. Perhaps I'm just an old man on his deathbed remembering it all, hallucinating my past life. I understand now. Time is cruel. Cliff. I understand why Star went mad. Cliff. He doesn't hear me. My son. My dear dead son walking. I may as well be broadcasting from another galaxy. Leaves fall through me. The woods decay. The woods decay and fall. The vapors weep their birth into the ground. Man comes and tills the fields and lies beneath. And after many a summer dies the swan. Whose thoughts are these? Not mine. I dreamed you grew up and everything was okay. You can't even hear me, can you? I can't even warn you. Oh, Maxine, I miss you. I miss you all so much. Maxine! Maxine! Ellen's voice fades out. I'm gone. Try again. Buddy is the ghost that moved Ellen's water cup until, like a ghost, the Ouija board pulls him to it. He tries to give Cliff a warning, the date of the attack, but it's not received. I just want to touch them. That's all. I just want to tell them I love them. But I remember how it happened. I remember this night, this moment. Funny. The mystery is finally solved, and the mystery is me. It was me all along. It's him! It's him! I'm losing it. This weight, this awful weight is dragging me down. And suddenly, I'm somewhere else. It doesn't make any difference. I know how this ends. I was there. Who's there? Listen, what do you want? If only I could send him down some other path. A path that doesn't have me at the end of it. Just tell me. I want you to look at the door, but you can't hear me. I know you. When I was 10, my God, I saw you. Please look at the door. Just look at the door. But I know he won't. I didn't when I was him. I'm going. The weight is too much for me. I'm going and I can't come back, and everything will happen just the way it did before. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Buddy is pulled back through time again against his will, this time reappearing when he was 10 years old and scaring his younger self into crashing his bike. There was a weird guy in the road. He was right there. Honest, Dad. Oh, Dad. Please see me, Dad. Dad, please. Well, there's no one there now, is there? Buddy, how many times have I warned you about that bike? Dad. Help me, Dad. I can't take any more. My legs are shaking. They won't hold me up. No more. No more. This weight is too much. This weight is bringing me to my knees. The terrible, terrible weight of time. The yellow aliens have come to collect Dr. Highwater for the climax of the story, as the psycho-pirate loses control completely and explodes with colors. He screams that he can't hold them back anymore. They're coming. This cover references the meeting of immortals that Buddy attends, but it doesn't fit in the meta-story, so we'll focus on the situation at Arkham Asylum. Again, I'll stress how much you should read the entire run. It's well worth it, and that story is important for Buddy's character, as the immortals all share their own lost loved ones. I hope you've been convinced to read it by now, or will be by the end. Don't worry, the aliens will collect Buddy when it's time for the hero to step in. Psycho Pirate has manifested his costume and his emotion-controlling mask, and his cell is filled with evidence of the multiverse. In the hall, he passes the original Owlman from Earth-3 in the crime syndicate, and Streaky the Supercat, Supergirl's answer to Crypto. He does not release the regular inmates of Arkham. Things will be crowded enough already. Power Ring, Ultraman, and Johnny Quick of the crime syndicate have also become real, along with Detective Chimp. Behind them, more figures resolved into reality. The second crisis has begun. The characters who perished in the crisis remember nothing past a wall of whiteness eating the world. The Psycho Pirate uses his mask to keep them all happy and assuage their fears. They weren't gone, it's just that only he remembered them. The aliens have brought Joseph to Arkham and make their way inside. They explain that they have no more choice than he does. They all must play their assigned roles in the story. His recent experience with Animal Man has led him to create a new theory of space-time. They can see other Arkham Asylums drawing themselves into existence and overlapping each other. The aliens explain the other worlds that used to exist are returning, but they're colliding with the reality that currently exists, and if it's not stopped, they will tear all of existence apart. The aliens' own plans must be set aside so they can prevent this apocalypse. Psycho Pirate continues to spew out colors which become more characters, among them versions of the Spectre, Sunshine Superman, Batman, the Magic Lantern representing the Love Syndicate of Dreamworld, and Sargon the Sorcerer. Psycho Pirate himself is fading from existence, though, as he gives reality to so many others. Making their way through the asylum, the aliens and Joseph find some characters fused into walls and wandering around confused, only partially real. They can do nothing to help them. They must find the heart of the breach. Psycho Pirate tries to stop a horrible, twisted reality from forming. Overman. He is the first of a series of superheroes created by the U.S. government. All the others are grown from his cell scrapings. Overman goes mad, absolute power corrupting absolutely when his brain is stricken with a virus. He murders the other heroes and people, and destroys the cities of his world, finally ending everything with a massive doomsday bomb, his head burning with insanity. Psycho Pirate thinks he's kept him from becoming real, but he is wrong. Psycho Pirate is trying to rally the characters to take revenge on the people of the world outside, those who watch them suffer. Us. The aliens have found him and tell Dr. Highwater his theories are more correct than he knows. The continuum is threaded with chaos. Psycho Pirate points at us through the fourth wall, asking the others if they can see us, leering down and enjoying his pain. Do they see the cage we keep them in, turning tricks for our cheap amusement? Ultraman looks, and now that he knows there's something to see, he perceives the panel border. He presses against it, and it bends. It is often said that Superman can do anything, and Ultraman is a version of Superman. Ultraman presses harder until the panel border breaks. He falls into the white space behind the panels, leaving a hole filled with light as seen by the others. The moment has come. Reality is about to be destroyed by the breach, and Overman approaches with his doomsday bomb. And perhaps they are all coming into the real world to get us, as the Psycho-Pirate proudly proclaims, "Where is Animal Man?" The aliens have brought Animal Man to the scene in the nick of time, soon after he's decided to fight for life against the forces of death, and the weight of time is finally lifted. Establishing shot of Arkham Asylum under a tormented, tortured sky. Leaves whirl madly on a mad wind. The windows of the asylum are lit with feverish lights. Tight close-up of keys on a word processor. The letters on the keyboard are waiting to combine, to become words, ideas, a story. Arkham interior. Full-figure shot of the now ghostly Psycho-Pirate standing at the door to the dining room. Psycho-Pirate, of course, is the only character in the DC universe who remembers the multiverse that existed before the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Those memories are now escaping from the pirate's head and taking flesh and blood form. In effect, the crisis is reversing itself. Infinite alternate Earths are hemorrhaging into existence from the mind of the Psycho-Pirate. Move in for a head and shoulders close-up on the Psycho-Pirate. Unsurprisingly, he looks a little confused and ill. "I know you're there, trying to make it hard for me to think. I feel strange. I feel so strange. I feel strange. I feel so strange." The story begins. "I didn't mean to do it. I didn't know. Ultraman, keep back. Keep back, for God's sake. We don't know what's out there. No, don't listen to him. Go through. Don't be scared. They're out there watching us. Go through and take revenge." "I'm glad you have returned to us, Animal Man. We have been waiting." "What is that? What am I looking at? I saw this in Africa, and again in the desert." "A breach into the continuum. A door into the impossible. That light represents the middle ground between our reality and the higher world out of which we are unfolded." "I can see something. It's vague, like a face. A huge blurred face." "Yes. Are you afraid?" No. No, I've seen it before, in dreams." "Don't go in there. I went in and it's terrible. White, everything white, and faces staring down. They're reading our story. We're just minor characters in a story to entertain, I don't know, the gods if you like. This is incredible. It's exactly what I predicted in my theory." "Minor characters? No, that's horrible. That can't be right. I'm Ultraman." "But what about free will? This is ridiculous. It can't be true." "I think we still have free will. I think they just watch." "Idiots, you're all..." Oh, I tried not to let him out. I really tried. I've got the bomb. I've got the bomb. Hee. I've got the doomsday bomb. Purification Day. What the hell's that? What's happening? Can't you do something? It would interfere with the story. Bummer. My God, he's like you, Ultraman. He is me, if I'd grown up on some other Earth. He is me. Overman, I'm Overman, oh for Overman, oh the screaming mouth, the absolute zero, the screaming hole, oh, so many of you just begging to be burnt and torn, and oh such filth, all you filthy bags of sticking meat bags, cracking cancer claws and a brain in me, kill you all in little bits, and then burn up the whole infected stinking world. I've got the bomb. Dear God, I don't care what I am. I don't care if I'm just a minor character in a bad story. I'm not going to let this happen. You hear me? I've still got my dignity. I won't let this happen again. Ah! No, stop! You're forgetting the real enemy out there. Don't fight. That's what they want. They want to see people hurting each other. Why do you think the world's the way it is? That's all they ever want. Oh, God. Streaky the super cat claws Overman's face and uses her heat vision on his eyes. He knocks her into orbit. Bizarro attacks him next. Joseph shows the others a picture of Bizarro in a comic, saying that this is exactly what his theory describes. The shape of space-time is a stack of two-dimensional planes in sequence, which appears three-dimensional and continuous to them. They wander in and out of stories, believing they have full lives, but it's only their minds filling in the gaps. And every time their stories are read, they live again. Animal Man enters the breach, determined to stop Overman. Overman tears off Bizarro's arm and caves in his chest while Animal Man steps behind and between the panels until he's ahead of Overman in time. He reaches into the panel from beyond and taps his shoulder. Overman spins but can't see anything as Buddy is resting on top of the next panel. Overman sees Buddy's arm when he gets there and grabs it, pulling him down into reality. As the bomb ticks down, Buddy absorbs the damage resistance of a roach as well as strength and speed. Psycho Pirate explains to Dr. Highwater that the comics probably come from Earth Prime, a world with no superheroes except a new Superboy where all the heroes existed as comics characters. This is where the DC offices were also recreated in the pre-Crisis Comics world for a few special stories involving the people who worked there, usually suffering the wrath of a visiting character unhappy with their portrayal. Psycho Pirate knew since the Crisis they were fictional characters, but they all thought he was just crazy. He thinks the multiverse can return, but if the aliens are right, everything would simply be destroyed. Tweedledee and Tweedledum are reading a passage from Through the Looking Glass about not being able to make yourself real or by crying about being fictional, when Overman and Animal Man crash through the roof of their cell. Grant is paying homage to the meta ideas he's using here with the Wonderland references. Buddy has to move fast as he lies on the floor. Buddy slips back outside of reality, and this time he brings Overman with him. The things I've seen, the things I see. Look, I'll show them to you. No, what are you doing to me? No! Where am I? What am I? Spooned out my own eyes and still I see. We're not real. None of us. We are the creations of sick minds. Yes, I've seen. And there's something worse. The creators, they're not real either. No! But it creates a miniature reality of one panel and puts Overman in it. Then he makes the panel smaller as Overman complains that he's realistic. This can't happen to him. It's not his fault he was made that way. But he makes the panel into a line, and then it disappears completely. He re-enters reality in the cell. Don't you understand? You're just memories. Memories of old-fashioned characters who don't fit the continuity anymore. You have no control over what happens to you. None of us have. We have a right to live, just like anyone else. We could fit in. Why couldn't we fit in? What's wrong with us that we had to be killed? If they write me out, man, I ain't never gonna be seen again. No, you're wrong. You can all still be seen. We can all still be seen. Our lives are replayed every time someone reads us. We can never die. We outlive our creators. We outlive our gods. If we could move outside our world, outside our space-time continuum, this is what it would look like. Like a comic book, like drawings on a page. Every time someone reads our stories, we live again. That's sick. You can't tell me I'm not real. I feel real. Ultraman, I don't want to live in this world. All the fun's gone out of it. Everything used to be bright, and now everything is dark. I want to go home. Power Ring. Far out. Dig the colors, man. Dig it. We're all colors. Even that was beyond their control. It's so... Hey, I don't want to cause a fuss or anything, but the Doomsday Bomb is right here beside my Medusa mask. I'm a little worried about this bomb. The mask. It's all shifting and moving. My God, they've gone into the mask. Ever since you appeared in the Continuum, Dr. Highwater, you have questioned your role in the great story. You see now how all things are resolved. The mask has become a gateway. Who dares hold it shut with force of will? Who dares stand sentinel at the threshold of the unreal, mediator between man and the forces of creation? Who will be the sacrificial eagle? Who will wear the mask? The bomb's going to go off any minute. Do something. Oh, do something, please. You can't just let it happen. You mustn't. Are we authorized to act here? I fear not. The bomb's continued existence seems to suggest the world is to suffer destruction after all. Do something! Either that, or it simply serves some dramatic function, or exists to make a philosophical point. Who can say? What are you going to do? Something I learned a long time ago. A piece of advice for when things are going badly. All you have to do is switch it off. Like the pure gold of a new day, the continuum is purged at last of all inconsistencies, a foretaste of Purification Day, when we shall celebrate the Aeonic Union. This butterfly is an Earth-14 species. I keep thinking there should be 5 of us here. It's weird. It's like someone's missing. Well, I feel very, very strange now. Do you think they're enjoying it out there? I don't know. Maybe there is no out there. Maybe there's just us. Oh, I don't think so. I do think I'm going away now. It's not so bad to be taken out of the continuity. It was nice, wasn't it? Nice to see all those old characters for one last time, just the way I'd remembered them. I wish they'd stayed. They made the world more interesting. Still, such a beautiful day to be going away. I feel like a breeze, light as air. Nothing can hurt me now. I'm happy. I'm so happy. Smile for me. I'm so... Our revels are now ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air. Into thin air. It's pretty weird, huh? I haven't seen this place this quiet for years. Like I said, though, Dr. Huntoon, I can't get this guy's mask off. I think I'd have to feed him with a tube. Well, isn't that what we always do? And let's face it, George, he is very quiet. I like him quiet. I think we just leave him. He looks happy enough. And God knows a happy man in here is as rare as an honest president. Maybe he's gone autistic on us. My wife's sister's kid's autistic, like Dustin Hoffman. You mean like Rain Man. Makes you wonder just what they could be holding back. Not at all. It's always the same. Something desperately trivial. Oh, and by the way, George, could you check the ventilation shafts later? I think there may be a bird trapped in there. I'm sure I heard wings. Why me? What was my part in all of this? The gaining of knowledge, preparation for Purification Day. We connected you, the beast, and the vixen to the template, so that you would be ready when Purification Day comes. I see you have changed your clothing again. Yeah, well, I won't wear animal skins again. Ever. Look, my family is dead, and I've been through stuff that makes my head whirl. What are we? And if we're just characters in a story, then who makes the stories? Who makes us suffer this way? Who writes the world? These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air. Come back, damn you! I have to know! Into thin air. Wait! Come back. Buddy, time to go now. Time to put aside all worldly things. Time for the last adventure. Oh God. Oh my God. Animal Man's house has been brought to Limbo. A monkey sits beneath a tree with a typewriter writing the complete works of Shakespeare, a reference to the idea of infinity, as an infinite number of monkeys with an infinite number of typewriters would eventually type the complete works of Shakespeare, purely by chance. Buddy leaves his pets behind to go and explore Limbo. What else is there to do? He meets Merryman, the alter ego of a past cartoonist, and he shows Buddy around. Limbo is where old characters go when they're taken out of continuity, and no one remembers Limbo once they've left it. The monkey is typing the script for this comic, issue 25 of Animal Man, when he has a heart attack and falls over. Buddy asks Merryman who is controlling all of this. If they're in a story, then who's writing it? But he doesn't know. He says that Buddy should seek the City of Formation, but first they must find the typing monkey. He's been prophesied to one day write them all out of Limbo. I care. It's stupid, I know. But I care. All the things that meant so much when we were young, under the blankets late at night, listening to long-distance radio. All those things lost now or broken. Can you remember? Can you remember that feeling? Perhaps I ought to see a doctor. The City of Formation is said to be an outpost of the creative force, but that sounds like a story. Merryman figures Buddy is just visiting since he's part of a story, and there are no stories in Limbo. We see several other characters long since removed from continuity. Merryman gives Animal Man the monkey and his script, and he sets out to find the city of formation. That was 5 years ago. We've been walking since then across ink-stained plains through deserted pasteboard cities. The monkey's breathing sounds like paper being torn. Sometimes we meet people. I was looking for my sister. I must have taken a wrong turn somewhere. My name's Jason. Time passes and the monkey keeps dying. It's like the last animal in the world, and I'm carrying it, and it's dying, and I don't know where we're going. I can't seem to fly. I could fly once. Now I just walk. I walk, and there's still no sign of the city. The city? Don't know about any city, no. I'm the Red Bee, you see, and technically I'm dead. But pleased to meet you. The Red Bee tricks Buddy out of his jacket, and the original Mr. Freeze takes his last possession, his picture of his family. On Buddy's journey through the underworld, his personality and his ties to the world are stripped away. He is finally directed to a structure, but he's told there's no city in that direction, just an old house. Buddy finds his own house, and his pets have long since died. The monkey's dead, too. I think it's been dead for a long time. No one was saved. I couldn't save any of them. I'm trying to remember when things were normal, but nothing seems real. The Red Mask, the Dolphins, the Time Commander, Ellen, the kids, all of us victims of this pointless cruelty. What do we do to deserve it? What do I do now? I have to break the monkey's fingers to get at the script. They snap like glass, fragile as glass. Animal Man number 25, Monkey Puzzles. I read it. I read my own words, my own thoughts, and I realize they're not mine after all. They were never mine. I flip through to the end of the script, and there it is in black and white. We're looking over Animal Man's shoulders as he rummages in the kitchen drawer and finds a pair of scissors. I won't do it. I won't go. Or maybe I will. There. In the end, it's as simple as that. And this is really the end. This is where it's all been leading. This is where all the questions are finally answered, isn't it? And it better be good. Okay. Here goes. The door is already chained before Buddy puts the paper key in it. It opens on a grassy courtyard and Buddy walks to a gate. Buddy crosses a street and comes to an apartment building. Hi, I've been waiting for you. I'm Grant. You coming in? We see the word processor from before as Grant shows Buddy into his home. Come on in. It's this way. Who are you? Who did you say you were? Me? I'm the evil mastermind behind the scenes. I'm the wicked puppeteer who pulls the strings and makes you dance. I'm your writer. You? You're telling me you've been behind all this? You? Did you create the yellow aliens? Well, I didn't create them, but I did rescue them from obscurity and put them to work for me. I didn't create you either, or your family. I'm more of a demiurgic power. Someone else creates you to be perfect and innocent, then I step in and spoil everything. It's a little bit satanic, I suppose. See? It's all done here. Close up on Morrison's hand pointing at the screen. I can make you say and do anything. I can make you hate your wife and children. I can make you forget you were ever married. Tight close-up on Animal Man, concentrating on one eye. The eye narrows. It's all here. This is where I right the wrongs of the world. When I was young, I had an imaginary friend called Foxy. You don't control me. No. No! No! Control me now, damn you! Control me now! Murderer! No, wait, don't! See? What did I tell you? I made you do that too. I can make you do anything. I mean, you're not really violent, are you? You've never been one of those horrible characters with a gun in every pocket and too much testosterone. You've seen the futility of violence, haven't you? Yes. Yes, I hate violence. Why did I do that? I made you do it. I thought we needed some action at the start of the story, just to keep people interested. You can't hurt me. To hurt me, you'd have to get into the real world, and that's something you can never do. You can't get into my world, but I can get into yours. I can fake the real world here on the comic page. What do you mean, the comic page? Where am I? I've been traveling for years. You haven't traveled anywhere. You're still here in your own comic, where you are every month. Here, take a look at these. Comic books? Why should I want to? Oh, this is my life. Ellen, the kids. Oh, God. Why? Why did you do this? You killed my family. You ruined everything. Do you know what you've done to me? Of course I know. I wrote your grief and your rage and your acceptance. It added drama. All stories need drama, and it's easy to get a cheap emotional shock by killing popular characters. But that's not fair. No, it's not. One of my cats died last year. Something, maybe a bone, punctured her lung. Pus built up in her lungs so she couldn't breathe. She suffered for 4 weeks and then died at the vet's, a couple of weeks after her 3rd birthday. Her name was Jamara. That wasn't fair either, but who do I complain to? See, your world is so much simpler than ours. It can be invaded by aliens or suffer catastrophes and nothing matters. It all just comes back good as new. There's no problem that can't be solved by some idiot in tights. So don't come here complaining to me about what's fair and what's not. All this stuff, the whole world, just stories? You write the Doom Patrol too? Yeah, but they don't know. Do you write everything? Don't be ridiculous. If I wrote everything, I'd never sleep. I only write a couple of comics, and you're one of my characters. Other writers are responsible for their own characters. You live in a world created by committee. Someone else writes your life when you're with the Justice League. Hadn't you noticed? Well, I suppose. I never seem to do much when I'm with the Justice League. Come on, let's go out. Where are we going? Nowhere, just walking. I don't suppose you ever notice how easy it is to travel just by cutting from one panel to the next. Maybe that's why superheroes never grow old. They save up all the time by cutting from one place to another. What? Never mind. I brought you down here because this is where I always come when I'm blocked or when I'm stuck for an idea. Right now I'm trying to think of things to say to you. You mean you don't know what we're going to say? Not really, no. I mean, it's okay for you. You just say what you're written to say. I have to think this stuff up. I've been planning this meeting for nearly 2 years. I had so much to say. It was going to be a really good story. But there's not enough space. In your world, things have to be concise. Stories have to be told in 24 pages. There's no room to say anything important. Listen, just tell me one thing. Am I real or what? Of course you're real. We wouldn't be here talking if you weren't real. You existed long before I wrote about you, and if you're lucky, you'll still be young when I'm old or dead. You're more real than I am. Your world must be terrible. It seems so gray and bleak. How can you possibly live in a world without superheroes? We get by. Anyway, if you want superheroes, I can give you superheroes. Look. How about that? The excitement never ends. My God, what have you done to all those people? They're not part of the story. I only put them in to make this conversation more interesting to draw. It's kind of a haphazard way to write a story, don't you think? You haven't been much good at writing my life, have you? I've just wandered through a series of unconnected events, with people telling me that everything is connected. Yeah, well, that's the trouble with my stories. They always seem to build up to something that never actually happens. It's the trouble with my life, too. My life, you mean? If these are my stories you've been telling, if I'm the star of this comic book, then why am I always on the sidelines? Why am I always just an observer? It's the same for almost everyone. We expect starring roles in our own lives, but somehow we just end up with walk-on parts. Life doesn't have plots and subplots and denouements. It's just a big collection of loose ends and dangling threads that never get explained. Listen, where I come from, we expect real stories. I'm getting sick of all these pseudo-existential narratives. Really? Oh, well, maybe a new writer will make things better for you. New writer? What are you talking about? This is my last story. I'm sorry it's all been such an anticlimax, but this is it. This is as far as I can go with you. No explosions, no big revelations. A whimper rather than a bang. But what happens to me? What I said, somebody else writes your life. They might play it safe and write you as a straight-action superhero who fights animal-inspired villains every issue. They might do the obvious and go for shock by turning you into a meat-eater. I don't know. How can they make me eat meat? I don't eat meat. I don't want to eat meat. I'm a vegetarian. No, I'm a vegetarian. You'll be whatever you're written to be. But if that's true, then what am I? A generic comic book hero with blonde hair and good teeth. One of hundreds. Cheer up. Could be a lot worse. No, I must be more than that. I feel things. I care about things. You can't take that away from me. The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. But the animals. You care about animals because I wanted to use you to draw people's attention to what's happening in the world. In my world, in the real world, I can't do anything about the things that upset me. All I can do is join protest groups and write this comic. The trouble is, I felt I was turning the comic into a kind of animal abuse of the month soapbox. Didn't you feel that? I feel too strongly about the subject. I think I was just becoming preachy. I didn't think so. I could talk about it for 100 pages, 200, but in the end it all boils down to 3 words. Might makes right. Man is able to abuse and slaughter and experiment on animals simply because he's stronger than they are. Other than that, there's no moral ground on which to justify any animal exploitation. A child with leukemia has no more intrinsic right to life than does a white lab rat. Anyone who believes that man's intelligence makes him special has only to look at the way we continue to destroy our environment. Man is not an intelligent species. See what I mean about preaching? Listen, if you can do anything, if you can, will you bring my family back? Sorry, it wouldn't be realistic. Pointless violence and death is realistic. Comic books are realistic now. Oh, for God's sake, this is insane. Why can't you just say, I don't know, say it was all a dream or something? Why can't I just wake up? Are you joking? That cop-out went out with the arc. A dream? It's not a joke! What can I do to get my family back? What am I supposed to do? This is getting boring. Too much talk. Time for a fight scene, I think. A couple of readers suggested it might be interesting to see you fight some other animal-based characters. Don't know why I didn't ever think of that. So anyway, I thought this guy might make for an interesting fight. He's called the Shark. What are you doing? Some others had the brilliant idea of matching you against your ideological opposite. Maybe we could call him Slaughterhouse or something equally dramatic. This guy loves to kill and torture animals, and he thrives on burgers. Got the picture? Stop this! Why have you done this? The idea is you fight this guy, and you settle the moral argument by beating him into the ground. Don't laugh, that's the way we deal with things in the real world, too. Why have you taken my powers away? Okay. Well, since this is the last issue I'll be writing, I thought I ought to take some time to thank a few people. First off is Karen Berger, without whom this comic wouldn't even exist. Karen's been a great editor and a wonderful human being. We've only argued twice. Thanks also due to Associate Editor Art Young for smiling through my worst excesses and dealing with all kinds of problems on my behalf. And then, of course, there's Charles Torg and Doug Hazelwood, who've drawn everything from 24-page conversations to psychedelic interludes without once complaining. Both of them wrote to me when we began Animal Man, and I still haven't found time to reply. I will. Thanks also to artists Tom Grummett, Paris Cullen, Steve Montano, Mark Farmer, and Mark McKenna for the issues they did. Then there's Brian. They're killing me! Shh, I'm talking. Sorry. Brian Baldwin, whose brilliant covers have leapt from shelves across the globe and played a massive part in Animal Man's success. Thanks also to Tatiana Wood for her inventive coloring and to John Costanza for his consistent classical lettering. And finally, I'd like to thank all my readers, and especially those who contributed opinions and debate to the letters column. Charles Sperling, Charlie Harris, Malcolm Bourne, Mark Lucas, just a few of the regular writers who've cheered me up or made me think, or both. Help me, please. Here, Grant advocates for joining PETA, and I'd like to point out that in 1990, PETA was a very different organization with a much better public perception. Do not join PETA if you care about animals. I would recommend the ASPCA instead. Okay? Get up. There's nothing wrong with you. It's only a comic. It's not! It's not only a comic. It's my life. It's my life, bastard. I told you about my cat Jamara. I took her to the vet every Tuesday and Thursday. I liquidized the food and fed her with a dropper. I prayed for her to get better. I'd have done anything to save her. Really. And yet, there was a part of me, the part that observes and writes, rubbing its hands and saying, well, at least if she dies, I'll be able to use it in Animal Man. It'll add a nice touch of poignancy. We'll stop at nothing, you see. All the suffering and the death and the pain in your world is entertainment for us. Why does blood and torture and anguish still excite us? We thought that by making your world more violent, we'd make it more realistic, more adult. God help us, that's what it means. Maybe for once we could try to be kind. I'm out of space, out of time, and I haven't said anything worthwhile. Nothing left to say. Go home. Go home, buddy. Forget we ever met. No, wait! I wanted to... Hi. Forgot my key. Ellen? Mommy! Mommy, he threw Gorilla Miller to the dog. I did not. Buddy? Hi. Anybody home? Ellen, I must have been asleep. I thought... Oh, Ellen, I had the most terrible dream. Buddy, are you okay? Something wrong? No, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong at all. Close up on Buddy's face. He's smiling and he doesn't know why, but tears start in his eyes. Nothing's wrong at all. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Is that it? Is that the best you can do? Nothing. When I was young, I had an imaginary friend called Foxy. He lived in a vast underground kingdom, a utopia ruled over by peaceful and intelligent foxes. I used to signal to him. My parents bought me a torch so that I could signal to him. Not a flashlight. We call them torches over here. I used to stand at the top of Angus Oval and shine my torch out toward the hills. Foxy always signaled back. That was more than 20 years ago. And here I am again. Don't ask me why. Here I am at the end of the century, toiling up a hill in the bitter wind. I've come to send a signal out into the dark. In the end, it seemed like the only thing worth doing. Are you there? Can you see me? Foxy, I came back. I didn't forget. I came back. The line of the hills stays dark. There is no answering light. No light at all. Clouds pile up in the darkness weighted with snow. Curtains are drawn. Windows blink and go dark. Wind whines in the power lines. Stars go out. Streets are empty. Goodbye. The end.